Alright guys, got some awesome news. New truck, and it does not mute itself when I start recording, so that is good to know on the stereo. I just got approved. Sorry, GPS is telling me where to go. I just got approved for a little location, and it's one of those things where they've said you can't really have animals there, and it's with a complex where I live, and so they're like, no animals, no reptiles, no anything like that. And I've been there for a long time and started talking to them and said, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is where my heart is, this is what my goal is it okay if I do this here? And they said, well, you're not supposed to, but sure. They said their biggest issue with it is that we're not supposed to be running a business where we live. And so I said, well, I'm not gonna have people coming in and out, I'm not gonna have extra traffic, I'm not adding to it or anything like that. And so they emailed me yesterday and we're getting stuff worked out. And so I officially have a location where I can start setting up racks, where I can start doing whatever I need to do. And I picked up a few new babies last night. I'm gonna try head down to Austin tomorrow for a show, and then there's a show here locally in Dallas the weekend after. So there's all kinds of good stuff coming up. I'll keep you guys posted. Thank you for your love, prayers, and support. It's blowing up, man. We're getting there, and so it's been a journey. It's going to keep being a journey, but we are on it together. I love you guys very much. God bless you all, and I'll catch y'all later. It's our new little Savannah. We had a couple awesome days with him with no problems, and now out of nowhere he started being a baby Savannah. And does not want to be held, does not want to be messed with, is trying to puff up and bite, loves to poop. And he's just so incredibly ferocious. He's terrifying. Alright guys, I had a special request for a video from Mysterymoustacheman, and so I figure since it's the first person I've ever had do a request on a video, I should probably get on it and get that done for him. So this is for you, brother. Wanted me to talk about the difference between leopard geckos and bearded dragons as pets. And so I've worked a lot with bearded dragons in the past. I've had several as pets and worked with them, and they're great. Also working with the leopard geckos and the fat-tailed geckos now as well, and having a lot of fun with both of them. And this little guy is just fired up. He's barking at me and trying to bite, and it is so cute. A lot of his personal preference, they do require very similar requirements between the two. The bearded dragons do require a little bit higher temperatures, and so the difference between a 75 and 150 watt bulb price wise is not too much. The electricity behind it's a little bit more. The one big difference though is that you do have to have UVB bulbs for the beardies, and I do have them on these guys as well, just because I know even when they're asleep they can still soak some up, and there's plenty of breeders that keep them in racks and do stuff like that. But I just feel like, I guess it's kind of like taking a multivitamin. You don't have to have it, but if you can get more vitamins in you can take better care of yourself, then why not go for it? These guys are so much fun to work with. They are fun to watch, they're fun to play with. When they hunt, their little tails go crazy and start wagging back and forth, and it's so adorable to watch. My girls love these, and they are so much fun. Good personalities, they smile a lot when you see them, and everybody always talks about that little leopard gecko smile, and they are just so cute. They are strictly insectivorous for the most part. They're going to eat crickets, roaches, worms. Every once in a while you do a pinky mouse for the adults. Very basic care, pretty easy. Throw crickets in there, dust them with calcium. Bearded dragons, on the other hand, do have a little bit more of a special diet. As they get older, they can start doing more fruits and veggies. They also have bearded dragon diet. And so there's a lot of people that don't like to mess with that, but on the other hand, some people really enjoy that, and they can do full vegetarian diets with their lizards. And so some people go for it just for that. The bearded dragons are obviously a lot larger. The little leopards will get probably 7 to 9 inches. Some of the larger beardies will hit 16 to 18 inches, so you need much more space for them. The leopards are easier to keep together, and I always hear different stories about them fighting. And I was in a pet store the other day, and they had 5 males in a 40-gallon cage, and they all got along. There were no problems, I guess because there were no females in there for them to fight over. Bearded dragons are a little more territorial at times, and so there's that to keep in mind. You can keep one in a cage. If you have a male and female, you may be able to get away with keeping 2 in there. If not, they are a little bit more solitary, but there's a lot more lizard to hang on to when you're playing with them. And I do enjoy the bigger lizards. I have a Tegu now and a Savannah monitor, and worked with monitors in the past. So it's just kind of personal preference. I think personality wise, the little leopard gecko smile is awesome, the way their tails wag, they are just so cute and so much fun. Great personalities, but I've never worked with a mean bearded dragon. They're a little, kind of like the baby leopards, where they're a little flighty at first, but they calm down and they get used to you. So either one is a good way to go. Plenty of color morphs, plenty of different options, and plenty of different paint jobs that you can go with on either one. And so it is just a good way to go. Either way you're going to have fun, either way you're going to have tons of entertainment. And so most of it's just personal preference as far as size of the cage, finances you can work with. The bearded dragons, for the most part, are a little more expensive to start out with as well, just because you do need, the lizard itself is more expensive, and then you do need more space, like I said. But it is nice too if you're on vacation and you're going out of town. They do have bearded dragon diet, and you can put that in there. It'll last them for a while, but you don't have to worry about doing fruits and veggies. So it is, like I said, it's kind of personal preference. I've had both. I've worked with both. I'm in love with these little guys right now, and absolutely in love with my fat tails as well. So I'm kind of doing things a little bit differently. My daughter really wanted a bearded dragon, and so we're talking about maybe doing that for her at the next expo coming up next weekend, actually. And so we may see what we can do for her. But in the meantime, we are hanging out with these guys. If you have any questions, if you guys ever need anything or want us to do anything, if you have a special request, please feel free to let me know. I'm more than happy to do that for you guys. If I can ever pray for you, support you, lift you up, and absolutely anything, please reach out. We are here for you. We love you guys. May be blessed to be a blessing to those around you, and we'll catch you next time. Just want to show off this little guy. He is growing and still being interred. This is, I think we did the original video with him about 2 weeks ago, so he's already put on a good amount of size. Good Lord. And he is just not digging us yet. I get him out every day. I play with him. I hold him for just a little bit, and he is still spazzy, still poops on us, and I'm pretty sure he would still take off a finger if he got, oh, yeah, he would. And he pooped on me. Oh, he did it again. He's still doing it. That's what you have to look forward to with baby monitors. But when they're 3 feet long and they're awesome and puppy dog tame, they are some of the coolest animals I've ever worked with. So we'll get him there. He'll be at that point eventually. In the meantime, we may have to take a little chomp or two from him, and it's not too bad just yet. It may be someday, but not a big deal. Alright guys, a little bit different kind of message today. Message I've been talking about with some of the youth I've been working at church. And we're talking about the difference between pleasure and happiness. And the biblical word for happiness is joy. We just break it down a little bit easier level to understand. Pleasure being the instant gratification, joy and happiness being the long-term goal. And kind of the difference in the two and what we need to look at, and also been talking about reaping and sowing with them. And so we have words like reaping and sowing that are in the Bible, and they don't mean a lot to us today because most of us aren't farmers. Most of us haven't had to plant crops and do things like that to survive or to earn a living. And so we talk about the importance of reaping and sowing, because reaping is what you get, sowing is what you put into what you get. So biblically they talk about with plants, you sow your seeds, and if you do a good job sowing, you reap a benefit from that. And the same thing's true in our life. If we make a choice to sow the proper things, then we'll reap huge reward. And so what we have to do is think about the difference between that immediate gratification of finding something that brings us pleasure versus doing something that gives us true and pure joy. And so we can do things, we can get caught up in the moment, and we have just these times of passion, these times that we do things and say things, and we just kind of go with what we want to do as opposed to what we should do. And those are the times of pleasure. And we try and do that sometimes as non-believers. We seek pleasure in things we shouldn't be. Sometimes even as believers we do too. I'm not going to act like any of us are perfect. We sin daily and fall short of God's glory. And so we seek out for that immediate pleasure. We are very much a society of, you know, microwaves take too long. We need something even faster than that. We need express lanes past the fast lane on the highway. We need everything to be faster and better and bigger. And so we are always looking to expand that. But the same thing is true in our daily lives. And so we are always seeking out to find something bigger and better. And that's not always a bad thing. It's always a good thing to be growing, to not be stagnant, to not be just content with some things. But in your life, it's always good to be content, to be happy with what God gives you. But as far as, you know, expanding yourself, as far as learning more, as far as pushing yourself, those are all good things to do. And so you can either push those things and do things and prepare to reap something huge in the future by what you sow now to prepare for that, or you can chase the pleasures now. And the reward is great right now, but in the future you set yourself up for failure. And we see this all the time. We see a lot in our relationships with people. We see this a lot in marriages. People will say, you know what, it's hard right now. I'm going to go for the immediate, just the immediate pleasure of ending it and being done. And so I want a divorce. And the truth is, if you would just, you know, obviously things happen sometimes, but for the majority of the part, the truth is if people just put in the time and the effort and work for it and start to really sow good things into their marriage, what they will reap 20, 30 years down the road that they are blessed with is absolutely huge. And so we can apply that to any part of our lives, whether it's our education and how we choose to learn, if we push ourselves to certain limits, if we do certain things, but we invest in our families and our children and our friends and our lives and our jobs. Just encourage you guys as you go through the week to be aware of what it is that you are sowing in and what it is that you're wanting to reap later on. And if you have these huge goals later on in life, then that is awesome. Get ready to sow them, or get ready to reap them, but you have to start sowing them first. If you guys ever have any questions, if there's anything we can do for you, please feel free to reach out. We would love to be blessed by being a blessing to you guys. In the meantime, may you all be blessed to be a blessing to those around you. We love you, and we'll catch you next time.